Hey y'all, good morning. It's Sunday the 8th of October. Can't believe it's October already. This year's gone by pretty quick. We're gonna just take a quick look at the overall situation before turn one starts. Basically, this is the beginning of player one on our Operational Art of War co-op on the Tank Sim Discord, as run by APOC. Thanks for running it. It's great. It's great Discord. It's teaching me a lot about planning in general and its purpose, and the fact that a well planned, especially a cooperative scenario or campaign, can add as much to the fun factor as the game's mechanics and physics itself, right? And the execution thereof. But there is a subtle play between planning and how well the game can kind of emulate what your intentions are. But I think just a well planned operation, tactical or strategic or otherwise, is it's just that process is fun in and of itself. So enough about that. We'll take a real close look at this. I think APOC, you had asked for me to kind of zoom in a little bit better, and I will try to do that throughout. Right. We'll take a look at this from. I'm not going to go too much over the scenario files. I have that pretty reasonably spelled out in the slide deck that I had provided, but we're going to take kind of a look at this at like maybe core level, operationally in the org chart, or the order of battles. And the one thing I did notice is that as you select a unit, all of the composite, I don't know if this is a setting or not, but I think by default, as you can see, whatever you're selecting is highlighted in yellowish orange, yellow ochre almost, and the other ones are highlighted in gray. And then you can see, so in other words, and when you look at this, it's pretty easy to see which corps it is. This is the 5th Corps. This is the 55th Mechanized Brigade. And of course, you could see that by the symbology as well, the NATO symbology, or Joint Task Force symbology, which it seems to follow more than NATO. All right, so this is the 5th Corps, primarily it's a mechanized brigade. Well, this is a mechanized brigade. I think it's it's a good mix, actually. Let's take a look at it from an org chart. So whenever you're clicked on something and you just want to see its organization, or it's in this game, Operation Art of War 4, it's shown as a formation. The formations, quotation marks, are the counter level units, right? And more often than not, the default is a brigade, right? So it's usually a corps made up of a certain number of brigades. So as we can see here, that's predominantly what you see. Of course, anything smaller than that that's worth depicting as an individualized unit or support element, is also shown. For example, 2nd Corps engineers. I don't know how I got on 2nd Corps. Hold on a second. Let's try that again. I'm on a 5th Corps element. It should go to it. Yeah, it did. I just clicked on the wrong one. So as you can see, it's kind of like highlighted. There are general orders given, or that can be given at the formation level. Most are set to attack by the scenario design, just to kind of see. So these are your basic ones, which makes sense. Right. I think that's as pretty well as defined in U.S. Army and USMC operations definitions and so forth. In most cases, everybody's set to limit losses. I mean, that's usually how by default it's set. So again, let's take a look at 5th Corps. We're positioned on the 55th Mechanized Brigade. We also have a headquarters unit. Just to kind of show you that. I kind of wish you could pop back to it without having to do that. Or I wish you could just This is movable. All right, there we go. All right, so let's see what happens when and you can't move here too. So it's a little bit archaic here. I kind of don't like how to do that. But there's the HQ, the engineering unit. I don't know if it's a company. Where are those guys? Let's go take a look at those guys. Yeah. And yeah, company level. And as you can see what they can do, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea what they can do. They can deploy as local reserves. They can deploy as tactical reserves, either the individual unit, blah blah blah. Just want to kind of give you a little bit more of an idea what functionally we can do for these a little bit. You can look at it at the unit report level, and if there's ever a situation where we're kind of going through this and you want me to kind of show this, I can. But I do want to show you what this the granularity you can get to. Right, give you an idea. You can actually go down to the equipment level too, which is nice. There is a deployment setting as well. We were kind of hinting at before, and then there's also this is where you can set this as well. Keep it at limit loss. All right. So that's the 5th Corps, which is kind of the northern part of this the area here near Istanbul, previously known as Constantinople. But we will not sing the song. All right. This is CS command. I'm assuming that is either combat support or communications support. I'm pretty sure it's combat support brigade. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that, if you know otherwise. And that is here, and that's composed of 5 brigades of support elements. Let's go to that again, and let's go to just the first one, which is here, and let's take a look at its unit composition just real quick, just kind of give you an idea. Yeah, it's basically a command. It's command support. Jeep, engineers, military police, ferry bridging teams. There's interesting. Some combat support. I tried to look it up for the Turkish Order of Battle, just modern, just whatever Wikipedia level, and I kept coming up with like communications support, which it very well might be. I don't know, but those were actually U.S. units in Turkey, so I don't know. Might not be correct. All right, so that's the 5th Corps, which are these units, as you can see highlighted. This is again the command support or combat support element. The brigades. There are, let's see, the 1st and the 2nd are here in this same area. So next to left of, if you will, if you're staring at the front line, left of the 5th is the 2nd Corps. Again, I'll highlight that. That's the 5th Corps up here. This is the 2nd Corps down yonder. Similar size, mixed corps, primarily armored. This one's a little bit stronger on armored. Let's see how it's described. Yeah, again, here's the composition of the 2nd Corps headquarters. It's very similar format. It just seems like it has at least a little bit more armor. Yeah, here's armored. So it's a 3-to-2 ratio there. Let's take a look. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold going on. And let's take a look at the 5th Corps real quick again to kind of give you a comfort. Yes, the opposite. That's what hey, my eyes were good. 2 armored brigades and 3 mechanized brigades. So it's the 2nd Corps has a little bit more combat power from an armored perspective, at least. Let's see what this. Okay, so this is still 2nd Corps. So those are your 2 main corps on the front line. Quotation marks. Okay, I think there's a 3rd Corps in reserve position, more towards the Istanbul capital. Let's take the units off real quick, just for a second, just kind of give you a better view of what's going on. It's kind of again, here's Istanbul, which is obviously pretty heavily operational point. Level of 30, that's pretty high. Kind of give you a little bit better idea what operational points are kind of in front of you. One of the first, probably larger ones to consider is Orestius, and then there's Alexandroupolis. Also Comatini. I don't know Kavala and Drama. These are probably the biggest bangs for the block, right? But it's also going to be obviously they're going to pretty much predict that you're going to do that. Of course, you're going against a robot at this point, but eventually we'll be doing human on human here. Once we can kind of get more used to Operation Art of War for this, we can do that. Kind of just give you a better idea, just real quick. Kind of go slower down the front line, just kind of give you an idea of how much our owned areas, how juicy those are looking to the AI. So I have a feeling we're gonna have a little bit of a kerfuffle up here, and probably they'll go for here. I mean, there's some pretty obvious paths involved, some COAs involved there, but so kind of give you that idea a little bit too. And then of course there's this. They're not going to get that far unless they get some naval units. We're not going to. I will show you the Turkish Navy here in a minute. So that's let me put the units back on real quick. And so that's the basic composition. Here's another. No, that's the 5th Corps, 2nd Corps, 3rd Corps. Okay, and those are the 3 main corps I had basically told everybody that, as far as the players are concerned, that's probably where you're going to be concentrating a lot of your orders on mostly. But that doesn't mean you have full control over everything. You tell me what you want me to do, but I'll kind of self-judge AI everything else. If you don't want to give me orders on anything else, it's fine. There is 15th Corps back yonder here. Trying to think what the composition. Let's take a look more at that. Oh, it doesn't get activated until turn 3. So that's something to keep in mind too. So this 15th Corps, primarily infantry. Are these guys out here? Yeah, they're out here. They're kind of spread out. They're there. Okay, so they're there. Let's see if I can find any more. And they're spread out pretty. I think that's just basically an interior reserve unit or formation in their terms. Let's go look at that again. 15 Corps. Okay. So again, your three primaries are 2nd, 5th, and 3rd, right? And this is actually a pretty reasonable listing of the somewhat priority listing, if you will. Let's go take a look. Let's just keep going down. So we've gone over this, but we haven't touched on coastal artillery. And I think I saw some of you put like planning maps showing some arrows from the coastline and so forth. These I think what you didn't know necessarily was that most of these are coastal artillery units, and they're not going to be able to be moved. At least not that I'm aware of, that you have the capability for the troop ships or amphibious operation ships to do that. Now, that's primary it. Let's take a look at some of these like offline things here. This is 2nd Corps engineering, so they actually are part of. Why are they so far apart? Yeah, they're part. I don't know why they're down here, but maybe just to keep them off the front line. But this is part of the 2nd Corps coastal artillery. Let's just take a look at some of these guys. These guys are still all coastal artillery. These are the 2nd Air Defense Regiment. Let's take a look at that. I think this is under AD command, or Air Defense Command. There's 11 regiments. I don't know if they're composite of the AD command, right? And I think those are primarily they're inland, but not quite as far as you can see. Here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one, right? So they're kind of like they are the next echelon, and then further out the 3rd echelon, if you will. I don't know if that's the proper terminology in planning terms, but here's your airfields primarily, as you can see. Okay, So speaking of air units, you have a pretty darn good amount. It's a pretty powerful Air Force, specifically for the region, and obviously not it wouldn't be as such against the U.S. If they were an enemy, but it's pretty strong for between the two. Right? Definitely stronger than the Greek Air Force, I believe. As you can see, just there are a reasonable amount of known elements and known units over here for Greece. There's a concentration here. We kind of know where their naval headquarters are and their ports, their main deep sea ports. Or, you know, so I don't know. I don't know necessarily. I don't think I have any fog of war. Fog of war is on, so I don't kind of know why we see so much, but whatever. I'll take a look at that. So right here, I could definitely understand knowing what's there. I don't know if that was a scenario design where they kind of like were able to say, upon scenario start what we know. In other words, I don't know if this information is fully accurate or not. When I've set it to like turn the computer off for playing, it doesn't really change it that much. But I do have fog of war on. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Excuse me. Um. So that's that. Again, most of the airfields. So we went over land. We've gone over air primarily. You have batteries along the coastal areas primarily, and then of course you have Turkish naval units. Let's take a quick look at these. Let's see if we can get a better organizational. So this is TDK, and I think it's the one at THHK. So primarily frigates and corvettes, I guess. Missile corvettes, however you want to say that. Smaller patrol boat level corvette size ships, surface vessels. They're spread out a good amount. You have oops, sorry about that. You have a good amount down here. You have it here. Here I believe, right here, yeah. Let me go in one more level. So there's some here. There's a task force here. Here. Your enemy forces are mostly here. Here. And concentrated down here as well. And I believe that some of the initial air missions are actually against some of these known naval and air concentrations, if I recall correctly. As a matter of fact, we can go take a quick look at that because that's probably something you want to consider potentially changing early. Let's go look at. Let's just pick one of these air units. Go to the. Actually, you know what? If I just click here, I'll see it. As you can see, by default, turn one, Turkey, from the scenario designer's standpoint, had 3 attacks that are set. All the other ones are set to air superiority. There's a few set to combat support. Let's go look at this real quick. Where is he? Oh, he's right there. Let's go look at the unit. Why am I not able to look at the unit? It's kind of weird. Okay, again, I think it's primarily made up. Oh, that's not the right one either. Sorry, I'm just not used to some of these Turkish formation acronyms and stuff. All right, so THHK is their air force. It is the TDK that is their naval force, and then the AD command is the anti-air defense. And then of course you have the third, the second, and the fifth, and the second. Okay. I hope I've shown enough. I can kind of zoom in a little bit more and kind of go around here a little bit. You can kind of see this block. The block shows where I'm posted. Okay, I'm gonna go along the line just real quick, just kind of give you a little bit better idea what you see. These are brigades, supposedly. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if there's like a variation of the truth of this information. Like in some cases, this is the only one that we're close enough to see its actual strength. So I think that this is accurate information. Right? This is a battalion. It's kind of, I don't understand why that's necessarily broken out like that, but I got a couple of those. Oh, because it's rec, mostly. It's a mechanized camp. If you need or want me to kind of do this again and show you just a very specific thing zoomed in, I'm going to just kind of sit here for a moment, just kind of let you see what's here. I like to kind of zoom out and show you where I'm at while I'm zooming. There's a naval force here. That's pretty much the rounds. Again, I think some of the main points I wanted to make that I don't know if were very clear, but most of these units along the coastline were coastal artillery. Right, there is an infantry unit here, and the other thing is I don't know if they've depicted any amphibious capabilities. Let's see something. Oh yes, they do. Okay, I was wrong. Maybe that's just maybe that's a scenario level setting. I need let me read up on that. I didn't realize that. Here, I'm just gonna do it real quick. It's embarked. Okay, and you can. Eh? Well, I was wrong. Okay, let's go take a look at another one real quick. Here's an infantry brigade. As you can see, that was not able to be. Maybe it's just because of the size of the unit. Let me go take a look at that. No, it's a brigade. It could be just it could be the, let's see if it's, let's see, location, urban road, urban road, anchorage, entrenchments. Okay. Is there a way to see that? What is that showing me? Oh, that's interesting. Heck of that. Alright, sorry, I'm kind of learning some stuff about this too. Okay. What is that showing me? Unit visibility. I don't know what that's showing me. Huh. Okay. Okay. This is me picking out the manual. This is me. Alright, so this is kind of an interesting flipper. We can kind of use this every once in a while if we kind of need to do some sort of granular looking, but you can change it between showing you the attack and anti-personnel and defense strengths or the movement allowances. Whenever you see that, I usually keep it as the strengths, just because you're not really needing the movement allowances. Okay, just wanted to give you an idea. So again, you may want to consider, where the targeting of this, how much you want for air superiority, how much you want to do for combat support. I'm going to read up a little bit more on combat support and kind of give you a little more guidance on what that really means, because I don't know if you have to. I don't think you see. Here are the capabilities. This the status. These are the statuses you can apply to an air regiment. It's just like 3 squadrons worth. Looks like. Yeah, let me look up a little bit more about the combat support in particular. I mean, obviously the attacks are pretty straightforward. The superiority is relatively straightforward. I don't think you have to set a zone or anything. Let me read up a little bit more on that, and I might do a separate report on that if I feel like I need to give you a little more data. Okay. So that's it for now. Let's see. That's pretty long. Pretty long. That was my long ass 5 to 10 minute report, but hopefully that was helpful.